Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so I'm a little bit late. I'm like a day late on this, or maybe, yeah, I think about a day late. I saw this yesterday on Twitter, and I didn't know how much to believe in something like this. What I'm seeing right now is that the Giants are really convinced on shopping that fifth overall pick. And am I kind of conflicted on that. I really feel like although you're not that sure on Daniel Jones, you don't know if he's going to be the guy going forward or years down the road. You definitely don't know that and you're not sure and you have to prepare yourself for next year. But at the same time, you're a horrible team. And you can use two top 10 picks. Those top 10 picks will help you a lot. If you need to trade up, you can always give up future first next year. You can always do a lot of things to be able to trade up. There's a lot of things that you can do. And if Daniel Jones has just a good year, looks like maybe a 28 touchdown year or something like that, to where we don't want to re-sign him, we don't want to pay him, then you can package him and use that as a trade up too. So I'm not as much worried about we have to acquire as much picks next year as possible because first off, I'm not sure that the value that we get this year is going to be worth moving down as far as, we probably would have to move down. The Saints, I think they have 16 and 17. I might be completely wrong on that, but the Saints have two picks in the second half of the teens. And would I trade the fifth overall pick for two picks in the teens? I'm not sure. I don't think I would because the fifth overall pick is where you're getting the guy that's going to make that elite impact. Maybe the seventh overall pick, there's a little bit of a drop off. But guys like Thibodeau, guys like Evan Neal, guys like Ekamukwana, guys like Aiden Hutchinson, if he for some reason were to fall to that fifth overall pick, even guys like Derek Stingley, I've seen sometimes where Kyle Hamilton goes in the top five. All of the elite guys, you're going to miss out on being able to get possibly two future Pro Bowl, future Hall of Fame type of caliber players by trading that fifth overall pick. So I really don't think that that's the best way to go about it. I feel like there's so much we can do with that fifth overall pick as far as shoring up that offensive line. I think there's zero chance that one of those tackles will be there as far as the top two. I think you might be able to get Charles Cross, but it really demeans the value that you could have gotten out of this draft. Now, the seventh overall pick, which I think should be talked about more because if the Panthers like Kenny Pickett and this other team likes Malik Willis, the Panthers are only going to be able to take one quarterback. So if they take Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis will still be on the board at 7. And I really think that pick becomes much more valuable because you have the Seahawks, I think, at 9. You have a couple of teams that want to move up to snag that quarterback probably at 7. And if you trade with the Saints from 7 to 16 and 17 or whatever their two picks are, 16 and 18, something like that, if you trade with the Saints, I think you get a lot of value for that 7 pick because you would have already gotten your first choice at 5, probably someone who's, number 2 or 3 on your entire board. And then at 7, there's probably a cluster of guys. There's probably a cluster. You probably like Derek Stingley. You probably like Kyle Hamilton. You probably like Sauce Gardner. You probably like Carl Loftus, a couple of other guys out there on the board. You're probably going to have a good cluster of people that you like at that 7th overall pick. And 9 times out of 10, if you have 5 or 6 players that you like at number 7, one at least is going to fall to that, second half of the teens. So if we can get one of those guys at 16 and then, maybe address another position that we really need to address, maybe like cornerback if we don't do it earlier, maybe like edge if one of those guys falls. Karlaftis is so unappreciated as an edge player. And if he falls down to the second half of those teams, that would be a steal to get him there. There's a ton of other ways. Linderbaum could be there. Kenyon Green could fall there. There's a ton we can do with 2 picks in the teens. So I wouldn't trade number 5 for those 2 picks, but I would definitely trade number 7 because I feel like number 5 is either Evan Neal, Akeem Mukwana, Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson as a long shot. And I think those guys right there are the premium positions for the Giants to be. I feel like those guys, out of those people, probably one of them are number one or number two on the Giants' entire board. So please, Joe Schoen, please, Brian Dable, do not trade that fifth overall pick. So, kind of looking on the other side, if we were to trade that fifth overall pick, we should get someone who's top five on our board. I'm thinking that we should definitely get that. Um, Number seven is not a horrible pick at all. Someone could always fall, but I don't think those two offensive linemen will fall. But you do have guys like Karlaftis. You'll probably have a guy, if you like Jermaine Johnson, he's there. If you like, again, Karlaftis, he's there. If you like someone like Kenyon Green or Linderbaum, I'm 100% sure it'll be there. I'm very sure that one of the cornerbacks will be there. So you'll be able to get a guy, like I said, that's probably top five on your board if you stay at seven and trade five. And probably if you trade five, excluding the Saints because they don't have it next year, but if you trade five, you're probably going to get a first round pick next year, which is exactly what you want as far as trading up. And you wouldn't have to mortgage your future next year to get the quarterback that you want. You would just be able to comfortably package the picks in the first round that you have and whatever, second round, third round picks in that draft and just move up. It would be a lot easier to do that than to, mortgage your future and rely on, the draft falling the way that you want it to fall to be able to get your guy, because probably CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are probably going to be gone in the top five next year. Probably one and two. Who knows? Because a team is going to trade up. But I think that will probably give us enough ammunition to trade up just by getting one extra first next year. Even considering that, I'm still kind of leaning towards the other side because the Giants, we just need good players. I think that's just the first thing. Yes, Daniel Jones has struggled. Yes, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even 40 or 30% sure that he's the guy going forward. But at the same time, worry about what you have on the team right now and pick up the best players in the draft. You have the chance to get two players who are top five on your board. I just don't think you can pass on that. I really don't. So this really all depends on what the Panthers are doing. I think if the Panthers are going with Kenny Pickett and all these other teams love Malik Willis, I think there's no reason at all to trade number five. Because first of all, I don't think those teams are interested in trading up for Kenny Pickett. And Malik Willis will still be there at seven. And what's the point of doing that? If you could still trade seven and probably get similar value, because as long as people are trading up for a quarterback, it's fine. As long as you're doing that, that's cool. So the Steelers, I think they're picking at 20. For me to go to 5 to 20, the kind of haul that I'm going to need multiple first round picks. I'm going to need a second, and I probably am going to need a fourth, because moving from 5 to 20 is basically saying you're moving from a guy that you see as an impact all pro level player, possible Hall of Fame level player, to a guy that you just see as someone that could be a Pro Bowler, that is probably going to be a good starter for you. Because in the 20s, things get murkier. There are a lot of good players, a lot of Hall of Fame players, top tier level players that get drafted in the 20s, but it's a lot less likely for you to hit on those players, which is why I would need a farm to move down from 5 to 20. That's a huge jump. And the Saints kind of got the right idea for moving a little bit higher, but at the same time, I don't want those two first round picks this year. Yes, you could get two good players, and you would have, 3 first round picks this year, because you would have 7. Again, I don't know if this is their exact pick, but I'm pretty sure it's 16 and 17 or 16 and 18. So you would have those 3 first round picks, but at the same time, you would not. Your whole point of trading that 5th overall pick is to get capital for next year, and you would not be getting that if you're getting 2 first round picks this year. So those are my thoughts on this. I really don't think we should trade that 5th overall pick. I think we should stay put, take the 2 best players, or stay put, wait until you see what happens with Kenny Pickett or with the Panthers. And if they take the quarterback that a bunch of other teams aren't looking to take, then Malik Willis is still on that board, and a lot of teams are going to want to trade up, and we can really push that price up. And the 7th overall pick is a luxury. It's really a luxury that we have, and it'd be great to flip that and get future capital. So those are my thoughts on that. Again, you guys let me know what you're thinking as far as trading one of these picks. I think trading 5 is a no. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.